is 6:30, so I'm going to call the regularly scheduled work session of the City Council of Snellville to order. Today is Monday, October 23rd, and we will, if I can find the work oh, I've got this big sheet of paper. See, I forget how this works. Call to order, check. Review regular business meetings and public hearing agendas. Okay, so on the regular business hearing, it's a big burly one today. We will have the invocation. Does she pronounce her name?
Tanisha.
Tanisha. Okay. And she'll do the invocation. And Mr. Emmanuel, will you do the pledge for us? Thank you very much. So under, looks like invocation, pledge to the flag, ceremonial matters. I'll get to swear in Dale Stanley, the Parks and Rec Board, if he shows up. We have the minutes to approve. Does anybody have any issues or questions about the minutes of our October 9th meeting? No, me neither. So under invited guests, we have Principal Rodney Jordan of South Gwinnett High School. Did we confirm with him?
I did.
Okay, awesome. Look forward to having him here. Then we have Nick Messino, the CEO of the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. We also have the proclamation for recognizing the Chamber getting an award for being the best named Chamber of Commerce in the United States. So if it's okay with y'all, instead of having the proclamation as a separate item, if it's okay, we'll just read the proclamation as when he comes up for invited guests and just get it all out of the way. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
And then Tanisha Estrada, founder and CEO of Girls Breaking Chains, which so 3 invited guests, then no committee or department reports. Approval of the agenda seems kind of strange because we'll be 3/4 of the way through it, but then no public hearing, nothing on the consent agenda, nothing on old business. New business, we have consideration and action on award for bid of repair stormwater drainage system. Mr. Sanders.
It was a good number. It was very competitive. This is a new vendor that we know very well. It's a group of people who broke off from Dickerson. They've done our stormwater for years and years. They were successful. And now Jason Freeland and his new company was successful as that $1,239,414.50. And we definitely recommend the award to civil construction and utilities.
So we'll need a motion for the amount of...
That amount.
$1,239,414.50.
Don't forget the 50 cents.
That's right. It's like winning by one vote. You could have won by...
Or half a vote.
Yeah, but you should have bargained with them. They would have given up the 50 cents.
No, should have got them down to 25 cents.
25 cents.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is B, consideration and action to surplus the city vehicles and equipment. What are we getting rid of this time?
Chief, what do we got, 4 vehicles?
4 police vehicles, not all of them are marked. They're vehicles that are not necessarily all of them old, but they're all vehicles that Steve from maintenance has said that they should be deadlined because of how much maintenance he's putting them into.
So I think it's 2 Chargers, a Impala, and an Explorer.
Correct.
See? Some things I can remember, cars, that's about it. That's it? And it'll go on governmentdeals.com or whatever.
Gov Deals.
Okay.
Make a little money on there.
Well, hopefully. So that'll bring us to the end of our regular business agenda. So on the work session, let's see, we're back to that. Update on ongoing, any correspondence?
No, sir. None that we need to bring forward.
All right, and city attorney's report, I heard you
Yes.
might want to do one of those.
I do. So we had, on Thursday, we had quality of life court, had 34 cases on the calendar, is that right, Jay?
I think more than that.
Was it more than that? It was quite a calendar, but we got through it. Had a lot more fines than usual that actually were paid. So the only big one that I was disappointed didn't show up, Big Lots didn't show up again, so I'm going through corporate with them now. So I'm really disappointed because they've been repeat offenders with their trucks. In fact, the truck driver, he paid his fine, but the truck driver claimed that he didn't have any warning, but luckily the police had a previous interaction, and Johnny had an interaction with him and said, "Oh yeah, well, remember this?" And so he really couldn't claim that he didn't have any notice. But it was a very good quality life court. We have the nuisance for Waffle House will be filed tomorrow. Our target date will be December 21st, but until it's filed, it's not official. But after that, then we can publicize if we want to do that. I've had a request from Johnny for 2 additional nuisance abatements. So the first is at 2411 Ivy Way, and that's for weeds and grass that are out of control. And the other is 2067 Tanglewood, and that is siding in disrepair. There's a hole, and evidently rodents have been seen going in and out of the hole in the side of the building.
The street.
So-
That's the vacant house, I believe.
Okay, so let me ask first on 20, I just need a consensus, I don't really need a vote, but I just need a consensus. Do you want me to go ahead with an abatement on 2411 Ivy Way?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Okay, and 2067 Tanglewood?
yes.
What about 2027 Tanglewood?
I'm not messing with that one. We have to have a special prosecutor for that one. Okay, we've received some attorney's fees checks from the opioid cases in addition to the settlements, and we are turning those over to the city since the city's already paid us for attorney's fees on that, so we don't double dip. We turn those back over to the city whenever we get one of those. Also on opioids, our lead attorney that's representing the cities in that is a guy named Andy Davis, and he's out of Rome, and his firm has split, and he has gone with 2 other partners into a new firm. And we have to make a decision if we want to stay with Andy, if we want to stay with the old firm, or if we want to hire someone ourselves. The general consensus with most of the attorneys and from the cities in these cases is we stick with Andy. I know Andy personally. He's the one that handled our, if you remember, our class action hotel motel. They handled that as well. So I would recommend you allowing me to stay with Andy. Is that okay with everybody if we do that?
Yes.
I trust your recommendation.
Okay. All right, and then I just need an executive session to discuss pending litigation at the end of the meeting.
All right, so are you done? Jay, do you have anything to add? No, you're good? All right. So, update on ongoing projects.
We can go over this pretty quick with the executive session coming up. Town Center, the pavilion decking is almost complete. You see that down there. Smithville is on schedule. They've had good weather. They've got the rock out of the way. They're building the market building. I think we've had 4 or 5 OAC meetings. We have another one this Thursday at 11 a.m. Let me know if you want to listen in or attend down at their trailer. You're more than welcome to. Oak Road restaurants should be permitting this week, I hope. Josh said they had 1 or 2 little issues to address, and I'm told that they'll be coming in. Now assisting Mid-City Leasing, a company called Bridger Properties. Bridger has a lot of representation all over the southeast. They bring a lot of non-chain, interesting companies to the table, and Kirk and Shannon enlisted their property to fill out all their spaces. Meetings with potential market tenant going well. They're working with the current architect, so I hope I have something to bring back to you in the next couple of weeks on that issue. Skyland Construction, once again, the good weather, they have made a lot of progress down there. We are working on a drainage situation on Springdale. If you go down Skyland and you come to the first stop sign, Springdale is to the right. We have to carry the water probably an eighth of a mile down to a creek. And we're working with the property owner to get the necessary easement so we can work in the stream bed. We met with them again today, having Chuck put an agreement together where they will give us the easement and we will do some ongoing maintenance for them. So hopefully we'll have that back in a few weeks. City cleanup, I'm sure y'all have noticed the GDOT demo is complete on Rollins Street. Still a little cleanup to do. And the large GDOT tract around the corner will soon be going out to bid. So, and that's something we will discuss in executive session. Mayor and council input on development zoning, the regular task force input being written into the update. Jason, I think they're on schedule for everything. I think we have another, the second survey, public survey is going out about the, I guess, the nodes and the character areas.
Correct.
And then I believe there's another task force meeting next week. Is it next week?
No, week after, I think.
2 weeks, okay.
And then a public meeting in early November, I think.
There should be, and we've had good participation there, I think, good input. Package sales, due to some legal issues, we did delay the lottery for this evening. Chuck and Jay are handling the response there, so we'll
talk about that in exec.
yeah. Briscoe Park, all RFQs have been reviewed and we've created our short list of 5 interviews. We'll conduct those on October 30th and November 1st. Christie is going to sit in on with us along with the mayor. So I think we'll hear some impressive presentations there.
Which Gretchen is on.
Gretchen, okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
Great. Working with the county on the old library transfer, I think they have, Matt, they've been in there and identified the furniture and everything, and so, I mean, they're working on it.
Is that all we're waiting on is?
We're waiting on their legal folks.
Okay.
So, North and Wisteria, I talked to Robin Wyatt today, one of the property owners. She has had a lot of medical issues, but she's back. She told me she's finally seen clearly on things, so I think she'll sign off on that. So we should be close. I think there are 2 agreements still being legally reviewed, but as I said, everybody's been very positive about it. We did have a change of ownership. Ronnie DeThomas did sell the property next to the car wash, and he's made an introduction to the new owner, and I think he's gonna work with us also. So traffic calming initiatives, Larry is working on everything. I think we're gonna have the bid will go in the paper. Did we get it to the?
So the paper is gonna get it next week. It's been advertised online on our website and on the state's website.
Great. And the estimated cost, let's hope it's accurate. I think it'll be less than that, but we're definitely finding room to budget that and include that in some infrastructure improvements.
Where you say here, can you explain this pre-con will be held for the neighborhood?
Yes, there will be a pre-construction, once we award the bid, have a contractor, there will be a pre-construction meeting where everybody can come in. We'll let them know. We'll talk to the contractor about those handful of areas, Gretchen, that the handful of people who are most impacted. And so, maybe we meet with them before, after, separately, but everybody will have input into that.
Okay.
And that's all I've got right now.
Wow, quick. All right, so that brings us to our second item on the discussion item on the agenda, which is an article that I sent out to the rest of Maryland Council about some issues that and how New York City is handling them, dealing with short-term rentals. The major issue that comes up, and I see it quite a lot in advertising for seminars and stuff for real estate investors, is someone will rent Gretchen's house and then turn around and start renting it out as an Airbnb. Well, if it's particularly in New York, there are restrictions on whether you can have an Airbnb. You have to, as here, you have to jump through a few hoops and have a business license and be acknowledged by the city. And if you don't, you're subject to fines and other penalties. So in New York City, they have made it where if you have sublet or you have rented the property from Gretchen, and so Dave's rented Gretchen's property and Dave decides to turn it into an Airbnb illegally, Gretchen doesn't get fined, Dave gets fined, which I think we're all good with, right? So it's in our ordinance, it does not make that distinction currently. So we're wondering if y'all think that's something that would be fair going forward. So, I mean, property owners should know what's going on at their property, but they may not.
Yeah, it makes sense, because a lot of these, we're not talking about where there's already a short-term rental and then the short-term rental is leased in. So we're talking about where people rent a house for, a year with an automatic renewal and that. And some of those property owners don't check on that property. So I think it's a great
Some of
idea.
them aren't even local.
Right, so, who knows what's going on there? So I think it's a good idea. We're happy to make those amendments.
Would that also be able to capture people who rent a house and then start subletting rooms? Is there a way to pull all that together?
Well, as long
Or
as,
is
yeah,
that even advisable?
well, as long as I think this one makes it easier where this is the person subletting. I mean, that can encompass everything. So, what it wouldn't be attacking is the property owner that pad splits. So, but that, again, that should be covered under, I mean, if we've got people putting, Johnny's got those people, he's already going after when we know any of those up, because they're violating a million different codes.
Right.
But, so this would catch, though, if somebody tried to rent a house and then pad split it, that would cover that.
Okay, all right.
So the one in my neighborhood would be under what you just described, really. The person who owns it has kind of a host guy in the house. And then he's sort of managing
The short-term rental.
the short-term rentals. Yeah, there's a room available. They no longer are listing it by week, at least. They're listing it by month. There's a room available right now.
How much is it?
$740
$740?
For
for a
one
month.
room.
One room.
But you get your power, you get your water, you get your
Oh, well,
cable.
good.
And it's all on a septic.
Yeah, and it's all on the septic, so.
How do they advertise it?
I found it on Hot Pads.
On what?
Hot Pads.
Really?
Yeah, just go to hotpads.com.
If you Google.
I would not do that on a city computer. I'm just gonna suggest that right now.
It's just like pad split, just another,
If you Google rooms for rent
or for rent.
or
in
for rent,
Snellville.
they come up.
They,
So.
Within 2 clicks, it's there.
It's not, and I guess that's, how are we following up and tracking where short-term rentals are in our city currently?
That's what we're trying to do better.
Right.
And,
Right, well-
so,
I would appreciate that. And when you do a search, what I've found
very
is,
easy to
if
find.
you search a particular particularly on Airbnb and VRBO, you have to do a substantial time out in the distance because often their nicer places are booked up. So if you just search for something for rent this week in
They aren't gonna show up.
Snellville, they're not going to show up. But if you do the second week of January, they show up.
Okay.
So
And just,
because they are supposed to, if my memory serves me correct, both have a business license, plus have
Right.
cameras on site, plus have, there was something else.
There's record keeping.
Pay taxes to our hotel motel, so.
also, just wanted to mention that you do have Esther Nadewa on Mondays. She's usually here. That might be a really good thing to have her. Our SYC intern, she's supposed to be here, usually on Monday. You guys know?
met her before.
Okay,
If you could set up a time when,
because I know she wants to work with planning a little bit too.
so if you could coordinate with
Okay.
Butch and Matt and.
I guess she's been working with Natalie, doing stuff with
Yeah,
Natalie.
yeah, she's been up in our office, I know.
Okay.
And anybody else who's Googling, send it on.
Yeah,
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, is there anything else that anybody wants to bring up tonight for discussion? Seeing none, I think we're at the end of our agenda, so we have a exec session that's been asked for, so which of this do I read? All of it? Okay. Todd Warner, Chairman, Presiding Officer of the closed meeting of the City of Snellville, being, okay, no, that's.
This is right here, read that.